Deeper.
I would like to start by thanking you for tuning in. It's Splash 106.7 FM. And the program is Matured Minds with Dipo Oguntoyinbo. I have to thank God for another bright day on the program, and I want to thank all of you for your feedback last time on the program. So the question to ask is, where are you in life? You know, that's the big question. We are in July already, whether we like it or not. 2020 is gradually hedging out. So where are you in life? Today is the 12th day of the month of July, and time check here is 2:03 p.m. It's Abeokuta. Things are cool here, and I believe that you're okay where you are. I want to welcome you again to the program. Like I keep on saying, I'm a divine work in progress. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. My name is Dipo Oguntoyinbo. You're also on the program. Today on the program, I have a lot of, we're talking about lots of things. Last time, the questions that you people were asking me that we're unable to answer. Today, by the grace of God, we're going to answer every question, and we're going to end the topic. Last Sunday, we started this talk on domestic violence and time to walk away. And I have a lot of things to talk about today. I have questions to answer, and we have new angles also to look at. But I have a message for you. I mean, you. All your mates are married and you're worried. You don't have to be worried. God has a timetable. Nobody can change that. And your children are not making you happy. You are feeling sad today. I'm telling you that we have a solution on the house this afternoon. You are jobless and you're in heavy debt and you think that's the end of the world. That is not it. I have good news for you on the program today. And you have been disappointed by people times without number to the point that now you have even taken it for granted that nobody is good. That is not the truth. You see, at times people have their own issues after they disappoint, And I must tell you that it's not too late to refine your passion. It's not too late. This is the seventh month of the year, and you can still perform wonders this year. God is still in the business of doing wonders. Like on Matured Minds with Dipo, I normally start the program by giving thanks to God. Because despite all the things going around the world, we are alive today. God is keeping us alive. We have to thank Him. There is no one like God, despite everything we are here. That shows that God loves us. And for those that are feeling dull right now, those of you that are crying about one thing or the other, I have a saying on this program that no situation is hopeless unless God is ruled out. So don't give up on life, don't give up on yourself. Together, let us give thanks to God because the Most High. That reminds me of this beautiful piece. by Flavor. Enjoy this and I'll be right back.
You're listening to Matured Minds with Deepo.
Yeah, welcome back, and it's Matured Minds, and today on the program we're going to end the topic we started last week. You know, we talked about domestic violence and time to walk away. I have two gentlemen in the studio with me, two great Nigerians, and we're going to have different kinds of perspective, and we're going to arrive at a solution. Now, if you know someone that is having a problem with the marriage, and you're having a problem with your relationship, please come around the radio. And like I keep on saying, you can go to Splash 106.7 on Facebook for the live stream. And please share this for people to be part of this program. And if you have questions, you can ask via Facebook. You can go to my page, Deepo Gutenbo is shared there, and on Splash 106.7 FM. And at 2:30 by the grace of God, we're going to open the phone lines for direct calls. We have some questions last week that were asked, and we're going to answer them shortly. Once again, welcome to Matured Minds with Deepo. My guest today, last week we had this consultant psychiatric from Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Dr. Sunday Amosu. Last week we have the honor of having him again on the program. Doctor, nice having you on the program again today, sir. And I have a Nigerian that said I should not call him Alaji. He said because an Alaji is a visitor to Mecca. So he said I should call him Mr. This is a public analyst, he's a media expert, and he's a man who had the chance of living in different countries. And he's going to give us different perspective about the topic. And he believes that our culture has a strong role to play in many things. My second guest is Mr. Ademola Ibrahim. Alaji, welcome to this program.
Thank you for having me.
And together we'll be doing justice. So you can ask your questions, send your questions on Facebook. And some people are on the Facebook already. I can see Agbebi Ezekiel, Akitunde Loatoyosi, Ajia Ramafa. Keep on, you can have your comments there. Just ask your questions. And 2:30, we're going to open the phone lines. But before we go into the program, let me just add some questions from last week. Dr. Amusu, somebody was asking a question about the children. That we're talking about walk away when it's dangerous, walk away when it's dangerous. What happens to the children in that kind of situation?
Lucy, when to elephant fight, definitely the grass won't suffer. The grass in this case are the children involved. So it's a choice that we have to make. Whoever makes a choice, it's a choice that that person must be able to stand with. The first thing is, if you need to move away, you want as much as possible to move with your children, if you can help it. However, if you cannot help it, that you cannot move with your children, you must still have a continuous access to them. Because if not, the children are prone to a lot of abuses, including physical, sexual, emotional, financial, educational. So definitely the issue of the children are very key, even as part of factors to consider before taking a final decision whether to walk away or not.
But in a case whereby it's already dangerous, like we said last week that the man beats the woman every time, he finds pleasure in beating her and the woman. Like a few days ago, I had the news and it was really disturbing that a 70-something-year-old woman strangled her husband, newspaper, because they were having domestic disagreement. And that's something that actually baffled me, but because I read the newspaper, I know this is not just a joke. Now I'll go to Mr. Ibrahim. You are a person that believes that most of these things you talk a lot about our culture. Now, when we're talking about the children, for example, women will say, because of my child, I will endure. Because of my child, I will endure. And when the man kills you, of course, the child or the children, they will eventually suffer. But the person too has a life to live. What about if you have to walk away and the kids are maybe young, and you want to go and start your own life? Is it advisable to leave them with the man or the woman? Because now we're not talking about the man alone or the woman alone. Like I said last week, there was a case of a man that left his family at Ibadan to go and rent an apartment because he's looking for peace. And he left the kids with the woman. And the case of women suffering alone with the men being the problem. Now, from your own point of view, sir, walking away and thinking of the children, how are we going to factor that one out?
Well, thank you very much. The question is, how did we get to that point? I believe so much that when you marry a woman, you just don't marry that woman. You marry the whole family. If that is maintained and you have a situation like you said, the woman or the man wants to walk away, because you're married to the family, the kids are safe. But what we see nowadays is that we want to be the person that we're not. We want to be as English as possible. Me and my husband, me and my wife. When you create situations like that and you start having your problems, it's going to be just the two of you. So if we go back to the foundation, we will save a lot of situations that will get to you beating your spouse. And if that happens and you're married to the family, you can always get people to come in between, mediate, and see a way forward. It won't be your last or your final decision to walk away. Even if you have to take that, you know you have backup, either your family or the family of your wife.
Yeah, but considering the current sort of things in the economy right now, where average families are going through their own personal struggles, would I deliberately accept somebody from somebody's family because they had a disagreement to come and live in my house?
You're doing without love. What is financial situation we're talking about?
The economy.
Oh, hello. Remember, our fathers, great-grandfathers, they were not that loaded, but they were comfortable.
Doctor, do you agree with that?
Yeah, in a way. We cannot leave out the culture out of this. The truth is, even before the final walk away, if there is need to walk away, one way or the other, both families will have been involved. The truth is, in our culture, I am not married to my wife.
Married to our people.
I'm married to her people. I've become engrafted. I'm like a scion, just joined to them. So definitely, thank God that all is well. If all had not been well, if I want to be African, definitely I'll have to carry them along.
Then that means the bane of the question. I think I should ask this now. What is the role of the family in the issue of domestic violence and all this separation? Has the family failed? I'm talking about the family. Mr. Ibrahim, do you think the family system failed or something?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Wow. How do you mean?
Right. Nowadays, with the so-called media, revolvement in our life, you can marry somebody on Facebook, divorce the person on
Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter, or stuff like that. It's so sad that even the government is not protecting us from all this so-called westernization. The kids are so innocent. They started with all this freedom. And when they have the problem, they have to deal with it. How many people cares to know the family of the person you want to marry to? In those days, it's not only knowing. There's a lot of investigation. The family you want to marry to, do they have any diseases that is contagious? It goes deeper than that.
Now, I have to cut in there. Sorry. Doctor, do you still have that? You're a medical doctor and not just a doctor, you're a consultant psychiatrist, you've seen cases. Do you still believe in this idea of checking the family history before getting married? Do you still have people come to you for that?
They still do. But
Currently?
the importance of that is to have what is called an informed decision.
Because I think now most of them, they're already pregnant before even telling anybody.
No, don't go ahead. But the decision will be yours. Oh, he has a family history of mental illness. He has a family history of epilepsy. Do you still want to go ahead?
And as a doctor, would you advise it?
It depends. If one has a mental illness, the other does not have a mental illness, all well and good. The chance is not zero. But then what about those who never had mental illness and they had some other challenges, financial, emotional, later in the course of the journey? The most important thing is this person compliant with medication? Has this person been properly diagnosed and being managed? And let it be an informed decision. It's not that it's based on deceit. You are hiding, you don't want to tell the person, the true situations of things. If that is done and both parties have agreed, let them go ahead. I've managed a patient who is my friend, who had been married for more than 15 years. He has a mental illness. The husband is aware and he's been very, very supportive. They have family planning. They've had all their children. And they are doing well. Nobody will know. Yeah, you are still on to Matured Minds at Deep on Splash 106.7 FM. If you're just joining us, today we're talking about domestic violence, and I have two great Nigerians in the studio, Dr. Sunday Amusu and Alhaji Ibrahim Ademola. They say I should call him Mr., but I'm used to Alhaji. And you also can be part of this conversation. You can go to Facebook, Splash 106.7 on Facebook, and you can ask your questions live. I can see people are there already. And you can also call from 2:30. I'll give you the numbers from 2:30. Mr. Ibrahim, because now I'm confused between Mr. and Alhaji now. Mr. Ibrahim, you said something before going on here about our culture, about the role women play now to run the home and all that. And we were talking about the family, the role of the family in protecting the family or damaging it. From your own point of view and experience, when you look at the family around today, there are many girls. I had a program some time ago and a man called in and he said his daughter needs to marry quickly, that she must marry, that I should just talk to them on the panel, they should go and marry. And I said, I can't ask your daughter to go and marry unless she's ready. It's not a matter of just jumping into one house, and that is the trend right now. That is what is giving us problems. But when you look at the cultural setting, the African culture is engaging. But now, how many of us are really cultural African-wise? Everybody wants to be like the American. Now, Alhaji Ibrahim, you've lived in London, you lived in America. Citing those examples, where do you think our problem started from?
Our culture. You see, we need to go back. I remember one artist and the other one is a group. Lemondozia, that's the name of the guy. And the other group is Odyssey. They had a very strong numbers played back like 10, 15 years ago, tagged going back to our roots. We need to go back to the roots. This is not working for us.
But the question is, where is the root now?
The root is Africa. You see, the problem is we're not even taking the best, the worst of all. We take the best of African culture and the best of Western culture. We marry both together, and the result is what you're getting now. The bad side is this. This generation of our parents are not even good enough to teach culture because they are messed up as well.
That's big.
You see? So we've been losing this gradually, and we're now in that point that we see it as a big problem. So to get it right, we need to start going back bit by bit, because some of these problems are stuff that our grandparents will see it as nothing. When you tell, your grandmother, I'm leaving my husband because he's cheating, they'll be like, is that the reason to leave? That's not good enough. Understand? The reason why you get to beat your wife or your wife get to beat you nowadays are things that you can just, take care of without. But because we are so westernized, I'm not going to take that S from him. You can't touch me.
Everybody's independent.
Yes, I'm earning my money. I don't need you.
Yeah.
I just need the kids. I need somebody to be my baby father and all that. You see, that is not us.
Okay, but let me ask the doctor this question. You handle all these things when they come to you. That's the advantage. Now, it all ends on your table. When they have the problem, they bring you to the hospital. What do you think is the most common reason for all these problems we have today? Some said it's job insecurity. Some said men are feeling low. Some said women are confident. Now, we talk about culture now. But as a person that handles these cases every time, doctor, what do you think is the main problem? There is someone listening to us right now that's having a problem. And the person is about to decide whether to leave or to stay. From your own experience, you see them every day, they bring them. What do you think is, from an empirical point of view, what is the nature of the problem? What can we do to avert it?
Probably a foundational issue. Not marrying right. From the word go.
Not marrying right?
Right, yeah.
That is
the right
deep.
person for every individual, I bet to say.
How do we know the right person?
Yeah, that's why marriage is not for the small boys like my son. Yes, now marriage is not for my 15-year-old boy. Marriage is for the big boys who should be able to take a decision. Knows what he or she is looking for. You understand? And when he sees it and picks it and says, yes, this is what I want, and he's able to stand by it.
Well, that means I'll take you back to Alhaji Ibrahim. We talk about the culture.
Yeah.
In Africa, look at the African culture per se from the start. They marry for you at times.
Yeah.
So how do you describe that? How do you align that with what the doctor is saying now?
Right. Doctor is very right. Marriage is for the matured mind.
Yeah, your matured mind is
yes, in those days, our parents takes the major pain to do all the checking and all. And you remember them saying, I want the best for you. Because they do all the checking.
And they really want the best.
They want the best for you.
Yes, sorry to cut you in. Sorry to cut in. Somebody just supported. Somebody's on the Facebook. You can get and say, word, not marrying right from the word go. Not marrying right. Yeah. So back to you, Alhaji.
Yeah. So we're all victims of this. We don't look for the right things before we take that decision.
Okay, now, to marry right. Now, let me go to that. To marry right. How do you marry right? How do you know the right time to marry, the right person to marry? How do you go about that? Let me start with the doctor. You see them every day.
First and foremost, I think you must be clear in your mind what you want. And if you look at it from the religious perspective, make sure that you have all this conviction and you are following the laid down principles of the scripture. I believe in the Bible. You follow the principle, and as much as possible, go by the books. Go by the books. And in marriage, we talk about physical maturity. We talk about emotional maturity. We talk about financial maturity. We talk about spiritual maturity. Can this person take a spiritual decision and stand by it?
So, but I know of a pastor. I'm a Christian too, but I'm married from a Muslim family.
Yeah.
Now, there's a pastor that asked somebody to marry someone. And I remember that story vividly. They're having the worst of time. I remember that person, and they were saying, I said, well, I should marry this person. I don't really know the person, but pastor said I should marry this person. Because of the confidence and the person and the pastor went ahead, they were just not compatible.
It was wrong from the beginning.
Should the pastor be the one to tell you to marry on an imam?
No, a capital no. Underline uppercase.
Okay, now I'm going back to Mr. Ibrahim now, because he's a man that believes in African culture. I'm an African, I believe in African culture too. But in African culture, when we're talking about marriage, you don't have so much of power. In talking about the core African stuff, at times the father says, you're going to marry Omoremi. You know, they said they use it for friendship and all that.
And for Modore.
Yeah. Now, in that kind of situation, that means the man has no choice or the man has no choice. Is that really pure?
Well, there are good, bad, side and bad side to this.
Yeah.
But I tell you something. If that happens, they will get the protection until they start to appreciate and love each other.
Protection us, I don't get it.
The parents will protect them because it's going to get rocky. But because they actually initiated the coming together.
That means they were still babies.
Babies, matured, Remember, in those days, they take the responsibilities. Not like nowadays that, when you marry, you have to have, like the doctor said, financial stability and all that. The parents will see you through in those days. So they have a major say in taking that decision. But nowadays, the parents are a little bit more understanding. And they still maintain that African culture to do certain things. Don't marry for the beauty. Don't marry for the money. Marry for understanding and stability, compatibility. Understand? Because most times, even if you're married for 50 years, you don't know each other enough.
Yeah.
You grow in it.
If you marry 50 years, you don't know each other enough. Well, I'll be back after this short commercial break.
Wetin dey do you now?
Oh no!
Farabalẹ̀ now.
Bobo, I know they do. Abeg,
How you
go
go
house.
dey go now?
Your voice don dey change you.
How my voice no go change?
Come up for road,
Come on,
Bobo.
baby.
Abeg.
Why you wan wicked me like this? Because man
Bobo, no
pikin body
drag
don
me,
tanda
Bobo.
now.
Bobo, no drag me.
Bobo, no touch my
Bobo,
skirt.
I no do Bobo.
Bobo, no. Bobo, no, Bobo, no.
Say no to rain.
Respect her body. Respect her choices. What she is wearing is not an excuse. Consent is key. Say no to rape.
Ìwà ìbàjẹ́ nìfipábánilòpọ̀ báwùjọ ò ṣe fojú rẹ̀ wò ó bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ̀sìn ò fààyè gbà á òfin ilẹ̀ wa gan ò fara mọ́ ìkànnì ọmọlúàbí Splash 106.7 FM lóní ìwà ìfipábánilòpọ̀ burúkú jáì yàgò fún kó o má bàa fi mú kàtà òfin.
Consent is by choice.
To do, no be by force.
A no.
Now, no, say no to rape.
Say no to rape.
Something unique and classic call. Splash Estate pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ Sweet Estate tó ti gbé àǹfààní bàǹtàbàǹtà dé o fún gbogbo tó lórí tẹlẹmù. Ọmọlúwàbí Estate tó dojúkọ òpópónà Máwùkọ́ láàrin ìṣẹ́jú méjìlá pé ẹ ti já sí gbangba kò jìnnà sí Funab Satellite Campus Gate ní Máwùkọ́. Ilẹ̀ lílẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti ń tà ní 250,000 naira. Wọ́n ti sọ́lẹ̀ ní gbàǹjo 100,000 naira. Òní wọ́n tà á fún èèyàn àádọ́ta àkọ́kọ́ tó bá kọ́kọ́ yọjú o. Láti ìgbà tá a wà yìí títí di ọjọ́ kọkànlélọ́gbọ̀n July 31st nínú ọdún tá a wà yìí 100,000 naira. Òní wọ́n talẹ̀ yóò gbàǹjo ìfàyè gbọ́dọ̀ ní àǹfààní tó ń bẹ láti san díẹ̀ pẹ̀lú iye tó bá ka mọ́ lọ 100,000 naira òní plọ́ọ̀tì kọ̀ọ̀kan owó tí ò fani lápòyà tó tó fọkànbalẹ̀ ẹ kàn sí wa ní ilé iṣẹ́ wa tó fẹ̀gbẹ́kẹ̀gbẹ́ pẹ̀lú Splash FM building òkè àbẹ̀tú Abiola Way ní Abẹ́òkúta pé fàlàyé 0809-494-1067 Splash Estate ojúlówó ọmọlúàbí tó tún táwọn yọ.
So it's evening. Your typical routine probably involves a glass of wine after a nice meal, relaxing with your family and friends. Well, we're here to spice it up.
Come on, turn the radio on.
Taking you on a smooth evening cruise with good music and great conversation. Splash Cruise, weekdays on Splash FM from 7 p.m. Enjoy the cruise.
You're listening to Matured Minds with Deepo.
Welcome back to Matured Minds with Deacon Splash 106.7 Abeokuta. I still have my guest here, and I'm going to open the lines now. To be a part of this program, you have to call 0704 400 1067. I'll take it again. 070 44 00 1067 or 0817 444 1067. So I can ask my guest questions. I have another comment on the Facebook by Oladusu Olabisi. Marriage right, a very important decision that youths must thoroughly consider before settling down with marriage. What on Splash FM? Thank you very much. Keep your comments coming. Now, let me start with the doctor now. We've been talking about our culture being so fantastic. And we talk about results of people that have issues in their wedding and what to do. As a doctor, I wanted to be very blunt on one topic. Someone told me some time ago that if a woman is the breadwinner, there's going to be a problem in the family. That it leads to the men get frustrated in some cases, and they turn minor issues to major disagreement. Do you agree with that, sir?
It's true. Only few are able to handle it when the role becomes reversed. A man is supposed to be the breadwinner. He is not able to, to
take care of his family.
Or take care of the family. It's worse than an infidel. That's what the Bible says. And I'm sure, so men are supposed to be, but the truth is sometimes roles can be reversed, but it takes maturity for that lady not to boss it over, lord it over the man.
I think we have a caller. Hello. Okay, can you try again? All right. Go with you, doctor.
Very few of these women are mature. I recall a family I grew up knowing during those days of ASU strike. I don't want to mention the place. The man was working. The wife was also working. But the wife was working in a blue chip big company, and she was the main breadwinner. The car belonged to the wife, but the wife never drives the car. It's the man that drives it every time. It was much, much later before we got to know that, that car actually belonged
to madam. Well, Alhaji Ibrahim, do you believe that too?
Of course.
You are from a different clime where women run the show in most cases.
That's right, but that is not the situation right now.
How do you mean?
They have their culture and they are cool with it. Our culture is different. When we cross the line, that is when we can really manage it.
We have a caller, please. That's okay. Hello. Good afternoon. Welcome to my chat Matthew on Splash 106.7 FM. Where are you calling from, please? What's the name? All right. You're on live.
I'm most interested by the convocation and I love it.
Yeah?
But I have a question to ask. I want to ask, in what age can a mature man be married?
Okay. My guest will answer that question. Thank you very much. Who will answer that? I'm throwing it open.
It's arbitrary. There is no hard and fast way about it. Notwithstanding, people will tell you, for male, they shouldn't be less than 25. What that means is that as at that time, you expect that the person will have gone to school, if it's to learn a vocation, will have been able to, complete all those things, probably prepare for manhood, husbandhood. Some will say 27, but
okay,
and it's arbitrary.
That means
definitely not somebody lower than 20.
Okay, that's from a medical perspective now.
General perspective.
Okay, now let me ask from traditional perspective.
No, I think it's speaking as an African man.
Okay,
it's not speaking like a professional here. Because it's not a game for the boys.
Yeah.
And when you say the boys, you need to be comfortable. You need to know yourself before you want to bring another person into your life. It's very major. Understand?
What about the issue of I just love you, I love you, go through everything together, I'm moved by love? What about that?
What is love?
Love is a decision.
Well, so you take that decision when you're mature. Understand? You see, you need to know yourself. At least to a large extent. At 20, if you're less than 25, you're still struggling. 25, you'll be lucky to settle down.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
So for those listening right now, the person called, I believe it's a vital question. That's the only question the person asked. At what age would you recommend as a person for, let's say, a younger brother or a son to settle down?
Well, that is not, it has nothing to do with age.
Really,
you need to have what it takes. If you're 30 and you're still struggling, and you bring somebody into your life to struggle with you, trust me, you'll have problems.
But there is this saying that they say if you want to marry a person when you're not fully up there. Yeah, that brings me back to one. I remember I was talking with Doctor last week after the program. Doctor, what do you say about that? Must you have everything before you settle down?
Not really. We can look at, in life, there is what is called the normal curve.
Okay.
As a normal curve. There are outliers to the left and there are outliers to the right. You understand? Majority of the people will still fall within this curve. So majority, I believe that will still marry between the ages of maybe 25 to 35. Majority. And the outliers are those who probably will marry late for one reason or the other, and they'll be marrying in their 40s, but they should be prepared that when they are retired, their children will still be in school. You understand? And you will still see some minorities who had maybe good family upbringing, who had sufficient support, that for one reason or the other, they graduated at 21. And by 23, 24, daddy and mommy I said, don't worry.
We are there for you.
This boy is still emotionally mature. They can still go ahead. But majority will still be in that middle of above 25 to 35.
Okay, we still have matured minds with Dikpo, and those of you trying to call, the number to call is 070-4400-1067. 070-4400-1067. Our second number is 0817-555-1067. 0817-555-1067. Now, I have a question here from our guest. Let me ask from Alaji before going to the doctor. What signs do you need to observe from the opposite sex to know that the person is ready to marry you?
Well, first and foremost, you need to know yourself well and be truthful with yourself. When you have these two, then you can tell when you discuss about both of you being one. If you're eager and she's not ready, if you persuade her to come with you, it's always going to be, you made me marry you. So you need that consent.
How do I get it from her that this lady is ready for me or this man is ready for me? How do I know?
Even Steve Wonder knows.
That is deep.
Yeah.
That is deep, Alaji.
well, because the signs are there, unless you don't want to say it. And sometimes the person you want to marry is not ready to marry you. The signs are there.
Yeah, but what about for the young people listening to us right now? Because I'm getting this question from young people. I guess some of them are ready to get married. They don't know how to go about it. I don't know that this question. How would you know that they're ready? Maybe some of them have one or two people close to them and they're not sure of which one to say this one is really good for me or not.
Well,
and it's not the game of dice,
I'm going to go back to what Doctor said, but a little bit further.
Okay.
The age in question in Lagos may be different from Abeokuta.
Wow. We're in the same Nigeria.
Yeah, but the challenges are different.
Different from Zamfara.
Understand? And different from Zamfara. Because what you need to achieve in all those places will be done at a different time. To get a house in Lagos, you know what it's going to cost you. And you don't want to marry if you don't have a place of your own that you're staying.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be mommy's boy, and that's another problem.
Yeah, let me take some comments on Facebook. We have some comments here. We have one from one from Ajibade. Well done, sir, enjoying your program. We have this one from Yemi Akimbo. We need to redefine our values if we must make family and other aspects of life work. How do we refine our values? We are here already. How do we refine what we have? Doctor?
Culture is supposed to be dynamic.
No, I believe religion is a different ballgame altogether. Yeah. Now, some women are having issues in their marriage because they said they signed for better, for worse. And some are dying because of that. We have a caller. Hello. 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 We can try again. Yeah, the religion aspect, because I've seen people that will say, I felt like leaving, but the church will respond. Go to the same mosque. Everybody knows us together. And they are dying instrumentally. They are dying in silence. Some are moving about like mobile cops. Some are even there again. You're just looking at them. They died a long time ago. And because we want to impress the public, what will people say? So, doctor, what do you have to? You are 2 in 1. Like last week, I said I have Luke in the studio, the biblical Luke. Who number 1 is a physician, number 2 is a minister of God. So you are 3 in 1. You're a zonal pastor of RCJ. You're a medical doctor, a consultant psychiatrist. So you can talk from both ends now.
Yeah. Like I said, my opinion is probably not different from what I said last week. The truth is, the church has not asked anybody not to walk away when life is at stake. But let it be the last resort.
Church, so can I take you again, because church people are listening to me right now?
Yes.
And today is Sunday.
Yes.
You said something about, please, can you say it again, sir?
There's a difference between separation and divorce.
Okay.
Malachi 2:16. God hates divorce. It's clear about it.
Yeah, but we could separate.
Yes, we could separate.
And they will not say that because we got another caller. Hello.
Yeah, hello. This
Yeah.
is Iyenka Ibidoni. I'm calling from Italy.
And nice having you on the program, sir.
Sorry?
Yeah, nice having you on the program, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, the immediate thing you're talking about, like the man that was saying that from the scriptural and religious point of view, you can always separate for a while to see if things will calm down and you will desire one another again. But the woman should not divorce in a marriage. So the women should think seriously before saying yes to anybody. And the idea of having 2 people and you are trying to decide which one you are going to marry is wrong. You need to know that you don't go into a woman unless you are ready to marry her. If you go into her without wanting to marry her, you have made her a fornicator. And you yourself, you become a fornicator and an adulterer if you don't go to the logical conclusion. So the man should be considerate when engaging anybody, any woman, in that this is the reality with the women. And the women should consider themselves seriously. If they do that, like the Alaji was saying, and looking at it from the old practices in our culture, apart from the scriptures, women keep themselves chaste before going to marry. Today, women just see somebody and you go to disco, after disco you go home. It's all rubbish. You don't do that, and that's what's causing problems.
Very much, sir, for your contribution.
Age is not the most important thing. It is the maturity of the mind and the reality, you being aware of the reality of what you want to go into. I married at the age of 23, and I'm the firstborn of 5 children, and I have to take care of my juniors at the same time as my marriage. And by the grace of God today, it's successful. I'm 66 years old. My marriage is 43 years in marriage, and my children are all grown up and doing well. But it doesn't happen like that without any pain.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate your call and your contribution to the program today. Thank you so very much. We are still on Matured Minds with Dikpo, and I still have my guest. Let me quickly take some message on Facebook. We have Yetunde Odebi saying, very true, the church has not told people to walk away if their life is in danger of domestic violence. Pastor, how do you react to that? The church has not told people to walk away. How do you react to that?
There are 2 sides to the coin. It depends on the side that individual. The problem we have today is that the church that we are talking about. Who is the church? It is me, it is you. And what you don't have, you cannot give. If you don't, if the pastor does not have a balanced perspective of all these issues, and all he has is just a parochial view, just like it's related to is a pastor that says you should marry this person. Pastor is not God. You understand? The teaching today is that pastor should not choose for you.
Okay. Now,
pastor should just say, if a pastor based on his own experience wants to say, oh, why don't you consider this one? The choice is yours. It's all part of this emotional maturity that we are talking about. To either say yes or no. And so that whatever is the consequence of that decision is yours, not because sometimes it's somebody who introduces our wives or our friends. I met mine in the service here. We served together in Papa Adamawa. You understand? My other brother was introduced to the wife by my younger sister. You understand?
Yeah, I believe that if we are to confess, everybody will have something to say in that area too.
Something like that.
Because I met my wife through my secretary.
There are many things like that. So, notwithstanding, whether it now works out or not, yes, the decision is yours. This person didn't force you to say, oh, I know this person is good for you. This is the one you must. But it was your decision. And if it's your decision, you must be able to stand by it and stand by it till the end.
We have another caller. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. You're on to my short man, so deep on Splash 106.7 FM. Please, let's meet you.
Pastor Matthew from Abantuku.
Right, sir. Your own life.
My question is, we are talking about marriage. Is it proper for a man to marry his mother in the same house?
His mother?
To marry with his mother.
Okay.
Even with him, with his wife. Is it mature enough? That's the first question. About the age, you are talking about getting married at the age of 25, 27. But looking at it, at 25, 26, 27, what of you have not achieved what you are supposed to achieve? You don't have work at hand. Because you must feed your family. You have a lot of responsibility to attend to. And the state of the country today, if it is not the grace of God, it is not easy to get married at that age.
Sir.
That is why many ladies are working all about this today. Because the young one that's supposed to get in, they are jobless. They don't have anything to offer them. Because you have to be responsible. You have to be responding to the woman, the children, many things to attend to when we are talking about marriage.
Thank you very much, sir. I will answer from both angles. And briefly, Doctor and Alaji. Now, the first question, living and having your mother staying with you. How do you react to that?
You don't leave the job of a man to a boy. I said it. You have to have what it takes. If you're still living with your mom, you're still a big boy. Unless...
It's a boy, but just a big one.
Yes, unless you are the one,
supporting
actually
the
living
woman
there, and you ask your mom to come and stay with you for a period of time, or you're taking care of your mom.
That means from you is a flat no.
I can't say flat no. I can only advise. And the age in question, nobody said 25 and 27. The doctor said between 25 and 35. But remember, we also said that it depends on where you are and the challenges abound.
Yeah, like Lagos and Abeokuta.
Samfara and all.
Okay, but doctor, I think we have another question online in reaction to that, but let me get your own part before we go to Facebook and take comments.
It's not different. The person who is still living under the same roof with his parents, it's not mature whether it's mommy or daddy or both of them. As long as it's the one that is bringing the wife to come and live under the same roof with them, that one is not mature. However, like I said, if for any reason maybe mommy is sick, daddy is sick, he brought them, then it has also to be with the consent of the wife. If not, there will be a problem. So it must be mutual and consensual.
Yeah, I think we're having more attention on the Facebook now. Somebody wrote, and the person said, for a lot of people, which is the fear of stigma that stops the abuse from walking away. is the fear of stigma. You agree with that, sir?
Yeah, well, it doesn't make it right though, but yeah.
But it's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, another person. Yeah, Aola Precious, this is great, sir. Thank you very much. And another person, Adekunle Olusegun David. Family must not break. That is Christian life. Enduring in faith through family counsel, support from the church, things can work very well. That's a comment. Well, I believe in the family. I must say this clearly on this program. I'm a person that loves the family to a fault. But I've also seen the fact that some people have irreconcilable differences. And it's better than to have yourself killed. We've seen people killing themselves because of things that are basically senseless. Because right from the outset, if you check the foundation, they were arranged for each other. There's some that go marry because of family issues. I want to make my mommy happy, so I'll marry her. And our family, we've been friends since for a long time. I mustn't spoil this stuff. Some marry for status. We are from a low setup, we can marry the poor. But I want to say this to everybody listening to me, wherever you're hearing me from. This is your life. Whatever anybody says is still you. You cannot live your life with someone. See, your life is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
Life is not an emergency. It's a decision. And don't make your bend your hand. Now, of course, at times we make mistakes in life. Nobody is above mistake at times. But you have to give value to yourself. I brought in next pastor. They've been talking to us about how to keep our family safe, how to stay sound. It's because they want to save one family somewhere. If you're hearing me today and you haven't paid, I think I have a caller. Hello. I think I have the last call for today. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. You're on to Matured Minds of Deep on Splash 106.7 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Well, I think kids are interested in the program today. So I think I want to, I'll allow my guests to round off before I close the program. Doctor, on a very blunt level, for those people who are having traumas, they're trying to hide under the guise of church. What do you have to tell them?
The church, like I was saying, who is the church? Who is the church? Who is me as a pastor? How versatile am I? How exposed am I? How grounded in the scripture am I? How prayerful am I? How much of learning, even in counseling, do I have? Do I even upgrade myself? Or am I just the typical old pastor like my old man who had died? You understand? Some of all this of who we are, what we should be, also determines the kind of advice
I will give out. But as a doctor now, how do you advise people? Now you've talked to them as a pastor now. Now as a doctor, that's seen a lot of things. You've seen pains. You've seen pains. You've seen what happened by wrong decision and stuff like that. What do you advise someone listening to you right now?
Marriage is a serious matter, serious business. Don't go into it hastily. Open your eyes when you are going into marriage. What do you want? What does the other party want? Be sensitive to red flags, to warnings. And if your parents says no for any reason, don't go ahead until they're able to say yes.
Oh, really?
Yes. If the parents are saying no, don't go ahead until they say yes. And it cuts across.
Okay, I think before I allow you to go, Mr. Ibrahim, the visitor to Mecca, I shouldn't call him Alaji now. How would you react to that? Parents must know. We have just 1 minute left for that.
Yeah, that brings us back to where we started from. You need the support of your parents to go through this.
Yeah.
Marriage is said to be the only institution you go and you will never graduate.
But you can walk away if it's painful.
Yeah, it's, like I said.
Last resort.
Yes. That's when you get to that point, then that's it. But even if you don't have your parents, you still have your uncles and aunties. Seek. They are more experienced with that, even if they are not together, they know the things they did wrongly. And they will be too quick to help you to sustain this.
Thank you very much. I want to thank my guest today because anytime we talk about family, we don't have time. That's what I've observed. But I believe that somewhere somebody's life been affected positively today. You have to take things easy. And life is not general for everybody. You have a peculiarity. So you don't try to be like anybody. Don't judge your life by somebody's standard. And there is somebody good for you. You don't have to give up on life. I don't know what you're going through right now that you're hearing me. Some are crying their minds. You shouldn't be like that. This is not the end of the road for you. That might is giving you a problem. Talk to people about it. Take an informed decision because you are here for a reason. You're not happening to life by mistake. You're happening for a reason, and God has a plan for you. I believe that next time we call my guests, they'll be here too. I want to start by thanking Alhaji Ibrahim Demola Ibrahim, Mr. Demola Ibrahim, for taking the time, for sharing with us from your wealth of experience. We appreciate you so much, sir.
Thanks for having me.
And I want to thank Dr. Sunday Amosu. Thank you very much, because he's the look on the program, he's a physician, he's a clergy. And thank you for sharing from us from both ends. We appreciate you. Thank you very much, sir. And, you know, anytime you hear this sound, it shows that the program is about to end.
You're listening to Matured Minds with Deep Walk. Deep Walk.
For those of you that want to advertise your goods and services, you can contact us via 003-753-8065 or come to Splash FM and talk to the marketing department to be a part of this program. And I want to give thanks to God for everything today, for giving us the grace. I want to thank God now to the King eternal, immortal, invisible, to God who alone is wise. Be honor and glory forever and ever. God, we are so grateful, and I believe next time you'll be part of this program, I'm about the privilege of your time for the last 57 minutes or thereabout. Don't forget that no life is hopeless unless God is ruled out. Don't give up on yourself. You are more than what you think. You are going somewhere to happen. And this is not the end of your story. So don't commit suicide. And don't forget to stay safe. Don't forget to stay safe. Social distancing, use a face mask. You know what I'm talking about. And don't forget, we're in the rainy season. Talk about the waterways. Please, let's be careful. Until next time I come back on this program, I remain your friend. I'm signed, I'm sealed, I'm delivered. My name is Dikpo Ogutoyimbo. Bye-bye and God bless you.
But you have chosen to call me your own.